Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our show today. My name is Doc April, and I have a slogan: if you want opportunity to knock, you talk to Doc. I'm with Keller Williams Realty, and in a few minutes we'll be talking about the house of the month, as we like to call it. But next I'm going to actually have my co-host introduce herself. You can say something interesting that they don't know about you, and then we'll go on from there.
I'm Regina Pickle Lewis. Most people know me by my children, Kellen, Jackie, and Cal, and I teach at Bradley High School. And
your daughter used to do news broadcasting.
Yes, she did.
Right?
She used to broadcast from this very place, mostly with sports.
Right.
She did the sports broadcasting.
So now Regina is following in her footsteps, right?
Not quite as good as Jackie was.
All right. Well, listen, let me explain to you what we're going to have on the show today. I'm very, very excited. We are going to take you on a trip with us. We went to the alpaca farm here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Was that fun?
It was great, Doc.
It was a blast.
Loved it.
It was a blast.
Very interesting.
Yes, and I could have taken home probably a dozen little alpacas and have them as pets, but I don't think you're allowed to do that. So we're going to have an adventure into alpaca land, and then we're going to have Casey Smith here from Operation Compassion, and then Justin Dunn will be here from Right Time, Right Place Staffing. So if you're looking for a job and need help finding one, maybe he can help us out there. So let's go to the house of the month, and if we can throw up some pictures for that, I will tell you a little bit about it. It's a wonderful home. If you like to live out in the country, look at that, isn't that pretty?
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous wraparound porch. If you want to live out in the country, this house has over 4,000 finished square feet.
Wow.
And then it's got another 1,700 of unfinished square feet in the basement. So like if you are a man who has to have a man cave and man space, most of that basement is just made for you. There's even a room in there to store guns or whatever you want to store, plus an office. And there's a garage door down below. There's even a shooting range out back. So it's kind of a great house for the man who needs a man cave, but it's also a great house for the wife and the kids, because in this house you've got 3 bedrooms and you got 4.5 baths. And remember, that's all within 4,000 square feet. So you can imagine that the rooms are large. And you can see it has a beautiful deck on it, great kitchen with custom cabinets. Everything in this house was custom made. It's got Brazilian hardwood floors, and it's got cherry cabinets, and it has a formal dining room and a sunroom, and it's got a wonderful room upstairs, which is this one right here, and it's just a play area or a sewing room or whatever you would like it to be. So there is plenty of room in this house. Another thing I should tell you about it is that if the power would go out, which it has been known to do here in Cleveland
Several times.
yes, you can have all of your appliances backed up by a generator. And so if you get a generator, they have one right now at the house, you'd have to negotiate that in there. But if the power would go out, you could still have the whole house operational and functioning as it should. So if you get a chance, let me give you this address. It's 440 Nopone Valley Road. 440 Nopone Valley Road. And of course, being a Yankee coming down here, I thought that was North Pone Valley Road, and then I found out that it wasn't. So it's Nopone. You're about 5, 6, 7 miles out in the country, but you have this beautiful 8 acres on which to land and raise your family. And the house was built in 2004, so it's not even 10 years old yet.
How many acres?
Just over 8.
I can buy some alpacas.
Yeah, you could get some alpacas and raise them back there. It's a good idea. Now, Regina, you're always looking for a house. You think that one would work for you?
It would work.
Maybe outside your budget?
Not on a teacher salary.
Not on teacher
Retired
salary.
teacher salary.
All right. Well, we are around the $380,000, $85,000 mark on this house. I'm sure they're negotiable. But if you want more information on this house, please call me, Doc April. And the slogan is, if you want opportunity to knock, you talk to Doc. So check out that house. All right. For today, I always like to look at something like quotes or something fun. So I thought what I would do for this segment is look up laws that are still on the books in the state of Tennessee. I think they're strange laws, but they're still on the books. Nobody's bothered to take them off, so I thought I would kind of go through those, and Regina, you can tell me what you think about these.
I tried to get Doc to tell me, and she wouldn't even tell me.
No, they're too good.
These are a surprise to me, too.
Yeah, these are good. All right, here's the first law. And I won't tell you where it's on the books, but it's somewhere in the state of Tennessee. Okay, the first law, you can't shoot any game other than whales from a moving automobile.
Whales.
Whales. How many whales do we have in Tennessee?
Which river? Where? Tennessee River, Hiwassee River.
Yeah. You can't shoot any game
I haven't seen any.
other than whales. So I guess that means if...
No drive-bys.
Yeah, no drive-by shooting. So if you're a little Bambi, a little deer, they can't shoot you from the vehicle. But if you're a whale, you're in trouble. All right. Here's the second law that I found. It is illegal to use a lasso to catch a fish. Now, I would like to see someone do that. A lasso. I can't imagine.
That would be a challenge.
All right. Now, this law I actually think is a very good law. You ready for this one? Driving is not to be done while you are asleep. That's a Tennessee law.
That's a common sense law.
I think that's probably a solid law.
Yeah.
All right. Next law. Hollow logs may not be sold.
Hollow logs.
Hollow logs. I guess if you want to build a log cabin, it would be good if there was something inside those logs.
Hollow logs.
Or maybe if you wanted to have a campfire, it might be good if you had some wood inside those logs.
I'm just curious as to, at some point, did people really buy or sell these things?
Well, obviously, all these things took
problem?
place because there's a law, and you never create a law unless there's a problem. All right. Next law. More than 8 women may not live in the same house because that would constitute a brothel.
8 women.
Yeah. I don't know what they call all these dormitories. So, no brothels in the state of Tennessee. All right. Here's a law, and I think this one should be challenged. It is illegal for a woman to call a man for a date. You could get arrested in this particular city if you call a man for a date.
Well, you know what?
You're old-fashioned, so you're going to agree with that law.
Absolutely. If my mother would have, it would have been against her law. I would have been grounded for life.
Okay. All right, now this law is kind of old, but it's still on the books. When you pull up to a stop sign, you must fire a gun out the window to warn horse carriages that you are coming. So I guess back in the day when they first had automobiles.
Or the whales.
Yeah.
You're wanting the whales.
You gotta fire a gun to let everybody know that you're here. All right, here's another law. No one may eat ice cream on the sidewalk.
Now, I've broken that law.
Well, I guess they don't want the city streets to be sticky.
What's considered a sidewalk?
I don't know, but the sidewalk cannot be sticky. That's all I can figure out. All right, here's another law, and this is in the same city. So they are really about their sidewalks. Spitting on the sidewalk is prohibited. No, they're on the sidewalk.
So much for all the dippers.
Yeah, if you dip and chew, that's going to be too bad. All right, now this is a law that I think you would have a hard time enforcing, but I like it. It is illegal for frogs to croak after 11 p.m.
I like that law.
Has anybody told the frogs that?
I like it.
I mean, I'm sure
What do you
do.
do?
I don't know. What do you do?
Take your gigger and
I don't know.
go after them.
Have frog legs for supper the next night? I don't know, but you cannot have frogs croaking after 11 p.m. All right. It is illegal to give any pie to fellow diners. It is also illegal to take an unfinished pie home. All pie must be eaten on the premises.
Rusty would like that.
I guess they want you to clean your plate.
Clean your plate.
This was before the day when it was go back and, you know, all-you-can-eat buffets.
So no to-goes.
No to-goes. You got to stay there and you cannot leave till you eat your pie. That's funny. All right, now this probably is my favorite law of the day. It is illegal for a woman to drive a car unless there is a man either running are walking in front of it, waving a red flag to warn approaching motorists and pedestrians. What do you think about that one? I think we've come a long way, baby. So, can you imagine it? A woman driving down the street and there's a man walking beside her or running in front of her with a red flag, warning everybody else, woman driver, woman driver. What do you think? I think some days I need that.
I may run over the man.
I may purposefully
Get out of my way.
Purposefully run over. So those are some laws that are on the books in the state of Tennessee.
Now, are there a lot more like this?
Oh yeah, I just tried to pick out the ones that struck me as funny. You know, they may not strike you as funny, but I don't know, that last one I thought was especially a keeper. So those are our laws. So if you want to check it out, just go on a website sometime and just pick up dumb law. I think I wrote in dumb laws of the state of Tennessee.
Dumb laws?
Yeah, and pages came up, so it would be fun to get these off the books. But nonetheless, they make for a great show opener, don't you think?
Absolutely.
All right. So let me remind you of who our guests are today. We're gonna, after this commercial break, show you the alpaca farm and go out there, which is awesome. And then we're going to talk to Operation Compassion and then Right Time, Right Place. So we will see you after the commercial break. But before that, don't forget the address of this great house on 8 acres. And remember, if you want opportunity to knock, talk to Doc. All right, we'll come back and play with some alpacas. Awesome.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Discover great local programming right here on WTMB East Tennessee Television. Tune in weekday mornings at 6:30 a.m. for Tennessee Valley This Morning to find out what's going on in your local area. Watch East Tennessee Shopper with Joe and Kim Palo live every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Get caught up in all the latest sports action. Watch In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. with replays at midnight. All this and more on WTMB East Tennessee Television.
Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open in Cleveland. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment, clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, migraine headaches, even sprains and injuries. It is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level, providing an array of health benefits. So whether you're dealing with a weekend sports injury, chronic condition, or looking for anti-aging, you owe it to yourself to explore what Hyperbaric Services can do for you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what 2 of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, took about 25, 30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
Very simple process, and it's well worth it.
Have you ever wished you'd seen a wonderful music presentation, listened to wonderful music about He's Alive? You've got that opportunity right here on WTNB starting this Sunday morning. Those air times are Sunday from 10:30 till noon, Sunday evening from 9:30 to 11 p.m., and then we're going to follow that up Monday and Tuesday evenings at 7:30 to 9 p.m. and Wednesday evening at 6 p.m.
Well, hello everybody. We are in a very different location than from being in the studio, and we are at Foster's Trail and Alpaca Farm, which is just right on the edge of Cleveland. And as you can tell, I have very special guests today. But let me introduce first, we have Susan and Peter Goodwin, and they run the Alpaca Farm. And so today we're going to have an educational experience and find out all we can about alpacas and learn about how you can bring your family out here and visit. And Regina is going to have some great questions for us. And first of all, let's find out who these guests are. Peter, who are these?
Well, this is Angel Eyes. She's about a 3-year-old mom, and that's her first baby. We call them Krias. Her name is Kalista.
Kalista.
Which in Greek means most beautiful one. And she is about 4.5 months old.
Wow.
So we'll wean her in about another month or so.
Okay. So she's thirsty right now.
Yeah, she's having a little lunch.
Having a little snack. Well, an alpaca farm, now I tried to do some reading on alpaca farms, and I found out I don't think you eat them, do you?
No, you don't eat them. They're predominantly, they were raised and domesticated by the Inca Indians about 6,000 years ago for their fiber at that point. And that's what they are for in the United States. So we'll shear them once a year. We'll shear them in April this year. And you get about between 4 and 7 pounds off just the blanket.
You see how thick it is?
And then right now she's probably got about that much fiber on her.
Wow.
And we'll send that away to a mill and turn it into yarn. So we have a store on the site, and it's nice. You can actually buy the yarn, and we can take you out and show you which animal it actually came off of.
That's amazing. Now, how many alpacas do you actually have here at the farm?
I think right now we have about 48 on the property, but a rule of thumb is you can raise about 8 on an acre. They're pretty easy on pasture because they don't pull the roots up on the grass. They just nip the top, so the grass can regenerate on its own.
Okay. Hi.
They only have bottom teeth, and then the top they have a plate. 4 stomachs. A guy once referred to them as a souped-up goat. Okay. The bottom of their feet are like dog pads with a nail over it.
Okay.
They're pretty user-friendly. They're not pets, but they are kind of semi-livestock. They know their names generally, etc., and they all have their own personalities.
Here comes one.
Here comes another one.
What's your name?
This one is actually named Ruby. She's
Hi, Ruby.
About a 6-year-old female.
Hi, Ruby.
Ruby.
Well, she's good looking.
Yeah, she's Bolivian Chilean by background. This one is Peruvian.
Now, how long does an alpaca live for? What's the lifespan for an alpaca?
The lifespan is about 18 years.
Okay.
Gestation period for a female to give birth is 11 months. So pretty long gestation period.
Yeah, it is.
They only have 1 baby a year.
1, okay.
Very rare to have twins, okay?
Okay.
The baby will weigh directionally about 15 to 18 pounds. That moms always have the babies in the morning, believe it or not. And that's a herd mentality from heredity, because if you think about it, the herd had to move during the day. Sure. So the first thing in the morning, to have the baby get up, and within an hour they're ready to run and move with the rest of the herd.
Really? They can get on.
They're pretty resilient animals.
I love this one. It's kind of going.
Yeah, they communicate by humming.
Okay, what is she saying?
I have no idea.
Okay. Now, when you're out here in the pasture, and I mean, this pasture looks really clean.
Right.
So where are all the,
alpaca
not to be crass, where's all the poopy piles?
Well, the reason we got into them originally was because of that, one of the things, because they go to a common dung pile. So we keep the pasture pretty clean.
Is that what those are out there?
Yep, that's one spot.
That's like a community outhouse.
So they go there, and then we clean it up, and we take it over, and we compost it and sell it for compost. So
awesome.
It also benefits because the biggest problem with it is digestive problems. So the more you keep the pastures clean, the better it is for them as health-wise.
Sure. Now, do you raise them as a business to sell them? Or do you raise them for the wool to sell the wool, or is it kind of a combination of both?
We sell and shear them, but we're also a breeder that sells the animals to other farms and people interested in getting into the business. It's kind of a unique business in that it's kind of green. It's pretty easy to do. I mean, they're very user-friendly. They're not like a horse or something that's going to kick you and really knock you out. They've got a neat personality, and It's something you can do as a retirement. So they come in all price ranges. We have boys that we'd sell for $250 on up. And generally you'd like to see a new farm start off with 3 animals because they're a herd mentality, and obviously if you put one out in a big pasture by itself, it's going to worry itself to death and it's just going to get sick.
Now what makes the pricing on them different? Because I know you told me, you know, they can sell from $250 all the way up to thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So what makes one worth more than the other?
Well, they're all blood typed and they're all microchipped, so we know the lineage of all the animals going back. So lineage is important. The other thing is, if you think about, you're trying to raise an animal to produce fiber. So there's characteristics called density. The closer together the fibers are, or the hair on the animal, the more you're going to produce out of that animal. Consequently, also, the longer the fiber is, the more you're going to produce from that animal. And then the third thing is called crimp, which is waviness, and that helps denote fineness and body. So those are the greater of those characteristics, the more valuable the animal.
And I noticed that you have won several awards for showing these.
Yeah, we travel for anywhere from we've gone as far away as Grand Island, Nebraska, to Pennsylvania, to Charlotte to show the animals. And what that does is measure how our breeding program is doing relative to other programs in the country.
And I would assume that makes them more valuable.
Yeah, the better.
As far as breeding.
Yep. This girl right here has won several color championships, which is the best of all the browns at the show. So she's fairly valuable, and that offspring comes from a pretty famous male. So we're hoping to do very well with her.
Okay, we are inside the shop right now, and so Susan, I want you to tell us a little bit about how to contact you, hours of operation, how they can call you, how they can get out here and see this fabulous place. So if you can kind of tell them how to contact you, that would be great.
Great. We actually have a website, which is fosterstrailalpacas.com. And there's directions listed on that. You can also phone us at 423-559-9100 and make an appointment to come out and visit the animals and the shop. We're not open. We don't have regular hours at this time. But we also, last weekend in September, we will be open Saturday and Sunday for National Alpaca Farm Days, and it's open to the public. So anyone can come and just venture around the farm and pet the animals and so forth. Okay. So it's really nice.
So if they want to contact you and come out and see you, they need to give you like about a 24-hour notice. Would you say
that would be great. Just weekends are better, just because we do, have full-time careers as well. But yes, anytime we try to accommodate any requests we get. So definitely.
Okay. Well, we are going to go out and look at the showgirls at this point in time, and then see what they present to us, and just kind of continue. But I am encouraging everyone, wouldn't you say, Regina, to come out here to the alpaca farm and purchase something, and we'll see what all is out here and go from there.
Beautiful things out here.
Regina's going to leave with a trunk load of...
I'm going to go get my checkbook.
Okay, that sounds like a good thing. So we'll go see the showgirls right now. All right, you may not be able to tell this, but we have actually changed pastures, and we are now with the showgirls. And right here we have a champion showgirl. And what is her name?
Her name is Miss Bacardi. Her father's name was Rum Runner, so we kind of kept it in the same family.
Yeah, so we're dealing with rum here. Right. And she has won awards?
Yes, several. She won a reserve color championship in Kentucky in the fall.
And what does that mean?
That means she was, of all the brown animals, because she's a brown, there was a champion, and then the reserve champion is second. So, and she did that as a juvenile, which was pretty good, because they generally don't hand them out to young. She's now about almost a year old. Okay. So this fall we'll shear her, and this fall we'll take her to shows, and she'll show in the yearling category.
Okay. Is that as big as she'll get?
Oh, no, she'll get bigger than that. She's also probably not for sale, because this is my wife's favorite animal. So until the farm dies, until the farm dies, this one is not for sale. So.
Gotcha. Now, when they win an award, is it a prestige award? Is it a You win a cash award? I mean, what is an award?
Some shows have cash, okay? Some just prestige. They're all posted on AOBA, which is Alpaca Owners and Breeders Association. And so the more awards you get, the higher the quality of the animal, consequently the higher the value of the offspring, because you're trying to promote, again, better and better animals with higher quality fiber.
Okay. Now, what made you guys, possessed you guys, to start an alpaca farm in Cleveland, Tennessee?
Well, it was really my wife found the idea, because we bought the property, and it was about 7 or 8 acres back here, and we looked at horses, and horses were too big, and we looked at cattle, and cattle were too messy, and one thing led to another, and we found this, and it's a great hobby. It's mind and stimulating, because you're trying to breed, so you're figuring out which male to breed to which female. It has a sense of competition, because you go to shows and compete. They're pretty user-friendly. They're easy to care for. So from a lot of standpoints, it was just something that we kind of grew right into.
Is it hard to teach yourself to be an alpaca farmer or breeder? Or
just experience, I mean, just learning.
Yeah.
And research.
Susan does very well. She takes care of all the medical shots and everything.
Wow. So you're like their veterinarian and their mommy and all of those things, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I help with the babies if we need to, so we're...
Now, how big are the babies when they're born? Because, you know, we're seeing them about 3 feet tall.
About 15 pounds, 18 pounds.
So they're like a good dog.
Yeah, like here's Foster.
Like Foster. Hey,
this is who the farm is named
you need to lift up Foster.
This is Foster.
He snuck in under the fence. He's not supposed to be in here.
The farm is named after the dog. The dog have special breeding too?
He was a pretty expensive animal when we got him,
There you go. There you go.
But
now, do you sell these animals all over the United States and all over?
We've sold them as far away as Maryland, okay? And most everything on the farm is for sale, okay?
Except this one?
Except this one, yeah. We have boys over here that would sell for $500, and obviously breeding females would be starting off at the low range of $3,000 or $4,000.
So the women, you know, are
as
more
usual,
expensive and costly than the males.
That's
so
right.
that sounds about fair, doesn't it?
Yep, that's right.
Well, that's good. And then how often do you said they breed once a year, so then once you've had them breed, do you sell them after that immediately, or how old do the babies get before you can sell them?
6 months.
6 months, okay.
And the other thing is you can breed the female about 24 days after the last birth.
Wow.
They don't have a cycle per se. The actual act of breeding causes the female to ovulate.
Okay.
So.
But you guys don't like to do that.
What?
To breed them immediately.
No, we wait about 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you need a little recovery time.
Yeah, we give our mom. But some of the bigger farms are like puppy mills or anything. They're slamming out a lot of animals quickly. Well, we just don't believe that.
We are going to close down this segment and head to a commercial break.
Discover great local programming right here on WTMB East Tennessee Television. Tune in weekday mornings at 6:30 a.m. for Tennessee Valley This Morning to find out what's going on in your local area. Watch East Tennessee Shopper with Joe and Kim Palo live every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Be caught up in all the latest sports action. Watch In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. with replays at midnight. All this and more on WTMB East Tennessee Television.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what 2 of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, it took about 25-30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach My muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
It's a very simple process, and it's well worth it.
Have you ever wished you'd seen a wonderful music presentation, listened to wonderful music about He's Alive? You've got that opportunity right here on WTNB starting this Sunday morning. Those air times are Sunday from 10:30 till noon, Sunday evening from 9:30 to 11 p.m., and then we're going to follow that up Monday and Tuesday evenings at 7:30 to 9 p.m. and Wednesday evening at 6 p.m.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gupta, and I'd like to introduce you to a valuable new healthcare solution here in Cleveland. Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open and accepting patients. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, migraine headaches, chronic fatigue syndrome, and even sports injuries and sprains. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level in the body. This increased oxygen level in our tissues and organs boosts the body's natural healing abilities and allows our bodies to function at a higher level. We will be happy to work in cooperation with your regular physician. However, referral is not required for this treatment. So whether you're dealing with a weekend injury, a chronic medical condition, or looking for anti-aging solutions, you owe it to yourself to explore what hyperbaric oxygen treatment can do for you or your loved ones. I invite you to contact us today for some more information.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Alrighty, welcome back. As you can see, we've changed things just a little bit. We got Regina down here on the floor, but she's in sight, and we are here with Operation Compassion, and we have with us Casey Smith, and I'm not going to go through his title, and Lisa Bowen, and I'm not going to go through her title. I know they're both VPs. That's what I know. So I'll let them explain exactly what they do for the organization. Then we're going to talk about Operation Compassion, what it does, both locally and abroad, and how you can contact them and get involved in it if you would like to make a donation and help out. So Casey, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about your title and what you do, and then we'll go to Lisa from there.
I'm the Vice President of International Programs. My role is relational within Operation Compassion, building rapport with our international partners, as well as programs that are going on through our partners, and building some in the development department that way. Also, we've just begun a new section of direct procurement, and I'm over that role and a few others, but new with the organization. That's why I'm really glad Lisa's with us today, and we love Operation Compassion, and it's a very exciting thing that we get to be part of every day.
And you wear several hats in the organization.
Yes, we both do.
Okay, all right. Lisa?
I think that's the first requirement, is can you wear several hats?
Multitask and wear hats.
Yes. My official title is Vice President of Operations, and that is anything having to do with product, whether it's donations, receiving, shipping to third world countries, putting loads together for disaster relief. Anything where product is concerned, that's my job.
Okay, great. Now, I know Operation Compassion's been around for a little while, and I had kind of thought it was a Church of God organization, and during the break you were telling me that it's not really that, and it's not necessarily a religious organization. So kind of tell us how that works.
Well, the Church of God will always be part of our history and part of our DNA.
Sure.
It's how we began. They were integral in who we are, and when we got started, we began as a Church of God work, and when we moved to Cleveland, at least, and
right.
It's been a wonderful relationship, and only in our recent history did we become a fully independent charity. we're a Christian charity, but at the same token, our partnership and the way we work is across the board. We work with anybody, secular institutions that are secular charities that have particular needs, all the way to the faith-based end. We chose to structure ourselves the way we are to give us the opportunity to work with as many people as possible, because our mission basically comes down to lifting people out of underprivileged settings, getting them out of disaster situations, and doing everything we can to rescue folks from a critical situation that they're in. And the nature of that requires that we be flexible to work with both secular and faith-based organizations.
Okay. Now, I know you do international work also. So, Lisa, can you give me like some examples of what you do? I mean, I assume it's like food supply, building of homes, but I'm sure there's a whole lot more that goes into what you can do for people both abroad and here. And we're going to get to what you do in Cleveland specifically in a moment, but what kinds of things does, I mean, it's not a food bank, it's more than that. So.
Right. We ship to 26 nations, 26 third world countries internationally. We do 60 containers, and a container contains 40,000 pounds of sometimes food, clothing, shoes, medical supplies, everything, tile. We just are in the process of helping rebuild in Haiti. We've done 7 clinics with the tile, schools, churches, a little bit of everything, and it's amazing what they can do.
Do you provide the laborers for that too?
Like we work with organizations. We send the materials. We work with organizations that are already set up and already on the ground. For example, before the earthquake struck in Haiti, we have an ongoing relationship with partners in Haiti, and we had sent containers of Coleman tents. The red Coleman tents that you saw on the news were already in the warehouse in Haiti and were available for distribution immediately after the earthquake.
Wow. That's awesome.
That was very exciting to see those all over the place on the news.
Yeah. So now, like that disaster, I mean, I know they're still cleaning up after it, but are those tents and everything still there, and they just keep them till the next time something happens, or do they get collected and go out somewhere else?
With that situation, they're probably not still there.
Okay.
You know, they've been in them for a long time. There are still people living outside and in tents, but as new items come in, you know, with our ongoing work in these 36 countries, we'll send new product.
Okay. And when you say you work with a lot of different organizations, can you give me some examples of some organizations locally here that you've worked with, and maybe some organizations abroad that you've worked with, and then we're going to kind of focus on what you've specifically done here in Cleveland.
Well, to answer part of that, let me go back to the question about the Church of God.
Okay.
We still maintain a really strong partnership and affiliation with the Church of God, to the point that we work in the care division of the Church of God with them under their umbrella, in a sense. And so we work a lot with Church of God organizations here in the area, trying to resource them, but we also have opportunities to work with some of our local organizations, like the Caring Place, like the Leonard Center, and maybe Lisa can speak more to that.
Okay.
As far as here locally, we've been active working with the Salvation Army and the Long-Term Recovery Center since the tornadoes last year, and then also the ones that came through just last month. We're still working with them. We've sent food. They called us, and the most requested item that they needed was diapers. And we had just put on their box truck 2 or 4 pallets of diapers. So the need was met before the call even came in.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. Well, now, I'm sure that to do all of this, it costs a lot of money. And I think most charitable organizations got hit pretty good when finances kind of crumbled. How much did that affect you? And when you guys raise $1, you know, some organizations, they give 50 cents out of every dollar toward a cause. how much of that, you know, when someone donates to you, how much of that actually goes to that cause? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, we're really excited. The last 4 years, Forbes.com has rated us as the most efficient charity in America. Right now,
really,
we hold that title in a tie with 4 other organizations, and so we're the most efficient charity along with those 4 other organizations among 1.4 million charities in America, which
I never knew there were that many.
there's a lot.
Goodness.
And what that comes down for us, what it means is basically that figure you're talking about. What, you know, how much of my money is going to go to the project? Well, with us, it's more than 99 cents out of every dollar.
Wow.
Less than 1% goes towards overhead.
So y'all don't get much salary is what you're saying. No, I'm just kidding.
No comment.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. I never would have thought that. Well, can you give me a couple examples of what you have specifically done here in Cleveland? I mean, I know you've done working with the tornadoes, but what organizations specifically came to you? And then how do people come to you for help?
They can go to our website at operationcompassion.org. We, like I said, are still working with the Long-Term Recovery Center and the Salvation Army on a regular basis. The Leonard Center, the Caring Place, we get in frozen food, ice cream, bread, cookies, frozen product. We don't have a distribution for frozen product with our refrigerated warehouse space, but we'll use what we can in the community, to schools, to after-school programs, churches that have local food banks.
So when you get some products in, you got to get them out immediately.
Yes, yeah, we have refrigerated trailers that can hold the frozen food, and we also have a refrigerated box truck that we can store stuff in there. We just, you know, can't store it for a very long period of time.
Now, are all your storage sites here in Cleveland, or are they around?
We have 18 warehouses nationwide.
Okay.
We have access to up to 650,000 foot of warehouse space. We can grow and shrink as the need arises. Right now, I think we're in about 250,000 here in Cleveland.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
Okay, my goodness, did you know that? I had no idea. Okay, what has been the most rewarding thing about working with Operation Compassion, Casey? Because I know you've gone from pastoring and gone into this, so I'm sure it's similar, but yet I'm sure it's very different. What is the reward in it for you?
Well, there's a lot there, and somebody might question, well, why would you leave the pastorate to go to a charitable relief organization to work? Aren't you leaving the calling? And to me, what we're doing is very much a calling. I've had the privilege to be able to travel around the world and visit some of the places that Operation Compassion is doing good. Matter of fact, in February, I was in a community in Tonga at one of the feeding centers that we help support. That is a unique area. 1 in 4 children in that area have AIDS. And it's tragic, the scenes you see, the poverty you encounter. And the most tragic of all is that feeling like we can't do anything about this, that helplessness of these people are in desperate need of help. Somebody's got to help them, and so often you have that feeling of I can't do anything about it. But that's where I love being part of Operation Compassion, because we're able to do something about it. And I've been so impressed to see the magnitude of effect that a few people can have. Ronald Reagan had a saying on his desk, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't care who gets the credit. And that's the kind of the heartbeat of who we are. We partner with other organizations, we network together to get people out of these negative circumstances and give them moments of relief, if not long-term relief. And like those children in Tonga, you listen to their stories, 9, 10, 11-year-old children that are heads of their household. Their inheritance that they received from their parents. Their parents passed away from AIDS. Their inheritance was to take care of their younger siblings. And they get an opportunity to come in our feeding center. We make sure they're well nourished. In 2 weeks' time, we can take a child who is undernourished and get them to a proper balanced nutritional rate in their life and get them to a healthy place. But it's more than just the physical help that we can provide through feeding centers and medical clinics and building homes for people. It's the emotional impact we get to have. To see that 9 or 10 or 11-year-old child that's ahead of their household have a few moments where they feel like a child again.
Absolutely.
And get to play.
Absolutely.
And just be a kid.
Great. Well, we need to wrap this up, but I'd like for you to tell them again how to contact you, and they can give, I assume, a financial donation, or is there another type of donation they can give, you know, like restaurants can give food or something like that. So if you could wrap it up telling us how to contact you again and where and what type of donation you need, that would be great.
Well, our website is operationcompassion.org. It's a great website, tell you news articles and things that are happening right now. It also gives you information on how to give. You can give a financial donation online. You can mail in a donation. You can help us by helping us procure product. Like you said, donating product. If you have product leads of manufacturing companies, corporations, grocery store chains, all number of things, you have access to something that would be of help in those situations. We love those leads and would appreciate any help in that regard. But also anybody can get involved. You know, follow us on Facebook, become a social media advocate for us, help repeat our story and what's going on. There's all sorts of ways to get involved.
Great, great. Well, I'm very appreciative that you took time out of your schedules today to come, and so Lisa and Casey, I appreciate you coming and representing Operation Compassion. It's a worthy cause, and so if you're out there, please go to their website and please take the time. There's nothing more rewarding than to give to someone else, and so if you can take a few dollars or a few minutes and help out Operation Compassion, it's done a lot of great things in this community and around the world, and it would be a great opportunity for you. So again, we appreciate you being here so much. And when we come back from the break, and that'll be after you've looked up that house on Nopone Valley Road, but when we come back from the break, we're going to talk to Justin Dunn of Right Time, Right Place and talk about if you're needing to find a job, he might be just the guy to talk to. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Kathy Guy with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Call us today for all your personal insurance needs. With 28 years in the insurance business, I have the solutions and pricing you are looking for. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Have you ever wished you'd seen a wonderful music presentation, listened to wonderful music about He's Alive? You've got that opportunity right here on WTNB starting this Sunday morning. Those air times are Sunday from 10:30 till noon, Sunday evening from 9:30 to 11 p.m. And then we're going to follow that up Monday and Tuesday evenings at 7:30 to 9 p.m. and Wednesday evening at 6 p.m.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gupta, and I'd like to introduce you to a valuable new healthcare solution here in Cleveland. Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open and accepting patients. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, migraine headaches, chronic fatigue syndrome, and even sports injuries and sprains. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level in the body. This increased oxygen level in our tissues and organs boosts the body's natural healing abilities and allows our bodies to function at a higher level. We will be happy to work in cooperation with your regular physician. However, referral is not required for this treatment. So whether you're dealing with a weekend injury, a chronic medical condition, or looking for anti-aging solutions, you owe it to yourself to explore what hyperbaric oxygen treatment can do for you or your loved ones. I invite you to contact us today for some more information.
Discover great local programming right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Tune in weekday mornings at 6:30 a.m. for Tennessee Valley This Morning to find out what's going on in your local area. Watch East Tennessee Shopper with Joe and Kim Palo live every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Get caught up in all the latest sports action. Watch In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson. Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. with replays at midnight. All this and more on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what two of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, it took about 25-30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. I get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
It's a very simple process, and it's well worth it.
Alrighty, welcome back to the last segment of the show, and we have with us right now Justin Dunn of Right Time, Right Place, and he's going to talk to us about opportunities here in Cleveland and in the area for you to find employment. I know there are a lot of people out there looking for work, and I believe you're the guy that's going to help them find some jobs. So, Justin, tell us a little bit about what you do, what you're looking for, and how a person goes about coming to you to look for a job.
Absolutely. I'm with Right Time, Right Place Staffing. We are a locally owned and operated staffing company here right in Cleveland, Tennessee. And our Cleveland branch is located just off exit 25 on the interstate, right next to the Comfort Inn and Suites and the Wingate in the old Porter Steakhouse building. So most of Cleveland and the surrounding area will know exactly where we're at there. And we're a young company. We just celebrated our second full year in business, but we have a very, very experienced staff, and our local management staff has over 75 years in the staffing industry, and we're excited to be able to service this community. And I'm actually a Cleveland native, been here my entire life, and grown up working in this community, and so we're very excited to be able to service a lot of companies here in the surrounding areas up into as far north as just south of Knoxville, North Georgia, over into the Chattanooga market, up into Dayton. And so there are a lot of job opportunities right now, and we are always looking for good qualified candidates, folks that need to work. And the job market has changed here locally, though, in the past couple of years. And we encourage people, even if they haven't brushed up their resume, maybe they've been in a manufacturing environment or distribution or logistics type environment, even a lot of the more entry level manufacturing or distribution type positions now, a lot of the screening processes and hiring practices of a lot of the companies in our area have changed over the last couple of years, and it's a little bit different going out and looking for a job now than it was just a few years back. And so we love having the opportunity to serve the folks in our community, equip themselves to get ready to prepare that resume, to get ready to go out on those job interviews, and love the opportunity to open those doors and make those connections with local companies here.
So you have a set of companies that come to you and say, we have these positions. And then on the other side, you've got a set of people saying, I need a job.
Right.
And so you try to marry the two together is what I'm guessing that you try to do.
Absolutely.
And is there a process that the company has to go through to work with you? And I'm sure there's a process the individual has to come through, and whether that's drug testing or spell checking, I don't know what it might be, but something that the qualifications and how to put them together.
Absolutely, and it is a neat thing because we are in that position to be able to have a relationship with a company and have that relationship with a job seeker. And what we do and what makes what we do exciting is when we are able to make that connection with that job seeker and that company and put a great person with a great employer. And that's what makes our work so fulfilling. But for a company that's interested in using a staffing service or a recruitment service, it's really a very easy process of getting in touch with us and just sitting down and discussing what the needs are of the organization. And being a small company, we are very flexible and able to adapt our processes and adapt the way that we service our clients on a very individual, customized type basis. So some of those things you mentioned, the drug test or spelling checking or things like that, we have literally thousands of skills verification tests and background checking abilities, drug tests, and education verifications. Those types of services that we can offer to employers to be able to help them set up some benchmarked and validated parameters to screen an incoming employee to make sure that they're getting the person that's really going to fit the need for the position that they need to fill. And it's really as simple as having a conversation and finding out what those needs are and seeing if it'd be a good fit for us to work together. On the other side, the employee side coming in, what we want to do, what our job is to do, is to help that job seeker find an employment opportunity that is really going to fit their experience, fit their skill set, and put them in a position where they're really going to have an opportunity to be successful. And so we can utilize some of those testing tools, whether it be a test to determine whether someone has the accounting skills to do a job in accounting, or the warehouse or logistics skills to be able to do that job in warehousing and logistics. We can verify those things. We meet with our applicants one-on-one, face-to-face. And a lot of, in an age where a lot of processes are very detached from that human element, a lot of places you have to go apply online. You may or may not get to talk to anyone. We still like to have a very high-touch approach and sit down across the table and talk about what your needs are, talk about what your skills are, and make that connection with a good employer.
So today you're telling me that here in Cleveland, Tennessee today, you have jobs available.
A lot of jobs available.
So you need to hear that out there, that there's a lot of jobs out there.
A lot of jobs here in Cleveland, Tennessee.
So, and it only makes you look good.
You've got part-time, full-time?
We do occasionally have part-time positions. The majority of the positions that we recruit for are going to be for full-time employment, but we do part-time placements as well. And that's one of the neat things that companies find about using a staffing service or recruitment service. You know, we can provide them very flexible solutions and find them the person that may be looking for part-time or maybe the person that's looking for full-time. And there are a lot of jobs out there right now.
That's
there
great.
Really
wow. Well, Regina, when you finish at the end of this year, you need to go see him.
I'll get your number.
There you go.
I'm looking for something part-time.
Well, Justin, tell them, because we need to wrap this up, but tell them how to contact you, where they can contact you, where they need to go. For all of you out there that are looking for a job, this is how you can find him.
Fantastic. You can call our office. Our local Cleveland office number is area code 423-790-5254. And our Cleveland office is open Monday through Friday. We accept applications from 8 until 11 in the morning and 1 to 4 in the afternoon. And you can submit a resume or correspondence to our general email account at info@rtrps.com. And just give us a call if you'd like to schedule a time to come in and meet with us, or just stop in. Anytime Monday through Friday, our branch hours are 8 to 5. We do try to close for lunch from 12 to 1, but if we need to be there for you, we'll be there for you.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I encourage you to check that out, especially if you're looking for employment. Regina, thank you for joining me, and thank you for the alpaca farm. That was incredibly fun. And in closing, I want to say please drive by 440 Nopone Valley Road If you're looking for a man cave and a custom built house to have your family in on 8 acres, you need to check that out. And if you want opportunity to knock, you talk to Doc. Thank you so much, and we will see you next month.